As someone who's not an audiophile but appreciates good audio, Quest 2 audio has driven me crazy since the Quest came out. And as you can see, I've tried every solution. This is just a small sample of the solutions that we have. Conquest VR made a terribly expensive solution and then ghosted me, even though they said they were gonna send me them for review, just a loaner copy. But Sebastian on Discord has saved the day and sent me theirs after they had them and tried them out. So let's check these out. Now keep in mind, I don't actually know what's in this box. My desk is way too full here. This probably will not be your typical unboxing experience you would get if you bought these yourselves, because I'm guessing Sebastian opened them and tried them and everything else. I don't know if I can actually use the sword on the desk with it so full. This is not safe. Hopefully that cut is good enough. Okay, I'm gonna try and do that before I end up hurting somebody here. Looks like Sebastian went to the length to at least try to get it back in the box. So we got Conquest, Get Immersed, conquestvr.com. We actually had the CEO, I think it was the CEO from this on our podcast before these came out. That was before a price had been determined. And I told them, I was like, well, the rebuff realities were considered at that time the best there was in the game. Whatever you're doing, you gotta come in under the price of them. And he shook his head like, oh. And I was like, he's not gonna listen to me. I know the headphones can be very cheap and they can be wildly expensive. Do you think this will at least be less than $100? Can you tell us that?
It'll be more than $100.
The rebuff reality, I think they're like 160. So I think as long as you come in under their price, then it definitely will make sense. $230 was the launch price of these, and they didn't sell at all. So now they've come down to, you can sometimes see them for as low as $100 or $130. Comes with a nice carrying case, although I'm thinking once you get these installed, you won't want to uninstall them again. So this is the look right here. For $230, I mean, you look at this and you go, what? $100, okay, it starts to feel more like this is the value you would expect at $100. Although this little thing here, this is a weird feature. You can actually, they have templates, you can make your own logos or whatever you want and put it in there, customize it a little bit. So that's neat. It's all manufactured plastic. Thankfully, it's not like 3D printed, but it definitely looks hacky. Even like this Kiwi audio strap. Like, yeah, the wire is terrible and in the way and annoying, but this looks well designed. It looks like it was made to go together. This looks like somebody engineered this and never took it through like a prettying part of the production. A very long headphone cable. It looks like it has to go to each one separately. We got one replacement of the plastic rings, a bunch of different little logos. So those are different symbols there that you can then put inside the sides, and a Velcro strap to try and manage your wires. All right, I left one of my headsets here without anything on it. Oh, look at them being in the 21st century. They don't even give you like a full booklet. Open both clamps by squeezing the gray tabs. We got little gray buttons here. Oh. Okay, interesting. 360 rotation. That is one nice thing about not building the wires into it, I guess. Allows you to then turn this, put this however you want. So for left side, I don't really know if there's a top or bottom yet. I'm gonna put the L facing up because I would assume that. Boy, that hinge does not feel great. Again, I'm still in my head thinking $230. And at $230, I would have been like, at 100, okay, I'm a little more forgiving. Ew, it doesn't make a great sound. And it didn't stay on at all just now. Let's try it the other way. Oh, it's just so crunchy in there. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like, I want to get it like one tighter to really solidify it, and it just makes a horrible sound when I try and then undoes itself. Okay, this is not a good sign to start. So interestingly, it has like plastic ridges here that should hang on to whatever kind of strap you're on, like a claw, but then they added this rubber here, which is actually taller than that. So when I'm trying to clamp this thing down, it's grabbing in here, but then I can just basically turn it out really easily. Maybe there's a reason they decided not to send me this for review. Maybe they've seen our other reviews and knew what I would say. Ugh, it's just never gonna stay on there really nicely. Okay, we're at least gonna get them on so we can do some... We're at least gonna try to get them on so we can do some audio testing. Maybe if I clamp it in a different spot. Maybe if I try clamping it way up here. That locking mechanism just should have been stronger. That was a mistake. And again, these came from someone who did try to use them. So maybe when you first get these, maybe they hold up a little better, but oh, I hate this.
I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
Gonna try the right one. Right one locking mechanism seemed just to do a little better. This right here comes undone to let you then decide exactly where you want to pivot this to. No, just kidding. I don't know what that actually stops moving. That is a little harder to turn maybe. Yeah, I guess that's supposed to stop the turning once you get it in place. The whole thing just feels like it's made of not super strong plastic, so you feel like you're gonna break it when you're trying to do this the whole time. And it keeps slipping off. Wow, okay.
Stop. Just stop doing it. You're going to drive me crazy.
Give me a few. I'm gonna watch the video, make sure there's nothing I'm missing here, get this hopefully better installed so we can at least get to an audio check. So I'll be back. The video was very little help, but it did only show the Oculus brand straps, at least from the skimming I did in Annoyance and saw. Maybe that's kind of their idea, is as long as you're using the Oculus straps, it will be a little easier. Even on the small parts of this head strap, the clamps just don't want to hang on. I got them at least to hang on good enough. I actually even had to enlist the help of John over here. He had to freaking do these while I had the headset on, held the whole thing straight because I couldn't manually lock them myself. And then I got these on my ears. So at least there's that. Not going into this real strong here. I'm feeling frustrated and annoyed with this. And imagine if I'd paid the full original price, I would have been like, this is crap. Even being sent these, I'm feeling kind of annoyed by having to deal with them. But the audio quality is what's supposed to be amazing. They touted all these amazing benefits, the engineering they did. So the audio is really the test here. Switched out the actual Quest real quick to one of the others that I had more games installed on, so I wouldn't have to wait for them to install forever. Going into Beat Saber right now, I do not have these plugged in at all. Just gonna start a song and then plug them in and be blown away by the audio change, maybe. They feel so cheap. Like they're not putting pressure on my ears at all and staying in place like I want them to. They just feel like they're kind of tapping there. Oh gosh, I think I just snapped it off the, yep, I did, dang it. This left side, really, the clamp is just, I think it's on the verge of breaking because it doesn't want to stay tight at all. Let's hurry up and try this before they fully break. I've got max volume on the actual Quest speakers. If you've listened to them, you know it's not great. Now I'm gonna plug this in and go to max volume. Well, at least the one thing they seem to do better, I'm not gonna say right yet because I need to do a lot more testing, but better, is the actual audio quality. But the problem is, if you take your fingers and you push these on, you get that pressure I was talking about, it isolates in your ears and you start to feel that bass and it sounds so much better than the stock audio. But the minute I let off and they're floating there like this, it sounded fine. But you can tell they need to be on your ears. They need to be cupping them, but they aren't ever gonna do that with this crappy hinge design they have on these. I got a lot more games and experiences to test if I can get these things to stay on here long enough to figure them out. So I'm gonna do that for a while and I'll come back at you with some final thoughts on these. After days and hours of testing and adjusting and readjusting and flipping things, I finally figured out why I was having so much trouble getting the things to attach. I needed duct tape. Duct tape was finally the solution that got these things to hold in place like I wanted to, allowed me to adjust them on and off my ears without these constantly popping off and jumping off the headset. I even tried a bunch of different head straps to try and see, okay, is it just the Bobo ones don't like it? Is the stock one any different? Everything I tried, these just wouldn't stay on until I got some duct tape out. So if you have white duct tape, even black duct tape, it probably wouldn't look that bad. I had gray duct tape. If you can't tell that I'm being slightly sarcastic, well, you might want to lessen in sarcasm. Let's talk final thoughts. I'm gonna start with the positive. You can tell this company does know audio. By the sound of these, they are crisp, they are clear. They create some bass out of a headset that doesn't really give you any bass normally. And it actually was loud enough that sometimes where I would rock the volume either at the top or one notch below, I was even a notch below that. That's the positive. Prepare the bleep button. Outside of that, these things are f***ing trash. The build quality is every outside of that, these things are f***ing trash. The build quality is bad. Every lever and everything on it, you never feel sure that it's actually going to lock or do what it's supposed to do. The things are always moving, even you're moving your head in fitness and they're falling even when you have this stupid thing locked, if you can ever get it locked. Couple that with the fact that I hadn't duct taped it for most of my first testing. Every time I tried to do this motion or this motion, the whole thing was popping off both sides. Cable management is ass. These are made for more than just the Quest. So you do need extra cable to get them around, but unless you're really good at hiding cables in the padding or something yourself, this cable is just gonna look terrible. I even tried to kind of wrap it in ways that made it a little less atrocious looking, but it's awful. One of these things kept falling apart on me, actually fell out, the spring was out, I kept having to put it back together, and no matter how many times I would try to tighten it, it would creak and make these noises and never stay tight. At least this one was a little better. It kind of stayed, but still, you try and move these things off your ears because they're supposed to be able to come in and out to make the headset easy to take off. You try to do that, and instead of coming out, you end up popping the whole thing off and it falls on the ground. 230 bucks is a joke. 100 bucks even. I'm sure the internals are expensive and probably well designed, but it doesn't matter how great of sound you get when the things just don't stay on or function in the way they're supposed to at all. I don't know of anyone who has gotten these that has been happy with them yet, but I only know about 2 people who have gotten them so far. So if you've gotten them or you're thinking about it, I'd love to hear where your opinion's at after hearing all this. But even getting these for free from a supporter, not from the company, who sent them to me, I don't see after this review ever getting them out again unless I'm comparing them to something. They in no way were worth the trouble that I had to go to get them to stay on for that extra better audio. I'd rather use the Kiwi audio strap. I'd rather see what Bobo VR has coming, hopefully next week. For actual just convenience, I'd almost recommend just using your stock speakers. They sound terrible, but you don't have to deal with all this. A swing and a horrible miss. Conquest, I hope if you redesign, you use better plastics, better gears, because you may have used really nice audio internals, but if the things don't stay on, it's just not worth it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for coming out. This was not a fun one, but at least we finally got you the answers you were looking for if you were considering these. And I will see you in another reality.